Hey math kids, today we're going to talk about how to factor quadratic functions or expressions. It would be the same thing. Okay, so we are going to start by looking at this quadratic function. Okay, now for this method there's a couple things. We need to make sure that it's quadratic. So quadratic, the easiest way to recognize it is that the largest power of x is a 2. So if we don't have a x squared in there, it's not going to work out. If we happen to have something like an x cubed, it's not going to work out. Okay, so that's how we know if it's quadratic. Now, additionally, for this method specifically, the number that's in front of x squared has to be a 1. Okay, or there has to be nothing written there. So this one fits the criteria, and so we're just going to go through the steps now. So what you do, we recognize that this is quadratic, and it's in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to take the c term and draw a t under it. So in this case it's the -10, which is in the place of the c. And we're going to be pretty systematic about how we write the factors of 10. So I'm going to always start at 1, and I say 1 times what makes 10? Well, 1 times 10 makes 10. And then we just move to the next one, 2 times 5. Okay, 3 times nothing works, 4 times nothing works, and then 5 brings us back here. So once you do everything that's in between this last one, we know that we're done. So now we have these two choices, and we want to choose the ones that can either add or subtract to the b term, or the number that's in front of x, or the b coefficient is what I should say actually. Now there's no way to make 10 and 1 add or subtract 3, but if we take 5 and we minus 2, then it works out. Then we just take those two and we say x minus 2 and x, it's freezing on me, and x plus 5. Okay, notice how the -2 right here translates to a -2 over here, and the 5 right here translates to a 5 right there. Okay, so for this video we're going to stop right here. This is called factored form. And if we were to graph this, put y equals out in front of it, if we were to graph this on Desmos and graph this on Desmos, they would be the same graph. So they're equivalent. It's just this blue one is called standard form, and this yellow one is called factored form. Okay. So we're going to move on and try another one. Alright, that's supposed to be a minus sign. Here, I'll clean it up a little bit. Alright. Okay, so we have this. We want to check to make sure that it's quadratic. It is, because the highest power of x is a 2. And then we want to make sure that there's no number out in front of our x. We want to make sure that our a from right here is a 1. It meets both criteria, so now we move on. We draw a t under the c term, or the constant, and we start writing the factors. So 1 times 6, 2 times 3, there's not a whole number in between 2 and 3, so we know we can stop. Now we want to choose the ones that can add or subtract together to make a -5. Now the issue with this is that if we put a -6 right here and add 1, we get -5. But also, if we make both of these negative, they add to -5. But there is a right answer. There is only one that will work. And if this situation ever comes up where you have 2 or 3 possibilities, you need to multiply them and make sure that they equal the constant. So if we do 1 times negative 6, we're going to get a negative 6. If we do negative 2 times negative 3, we're going to get a positive 6. Now because this one gave us the right answer, gave us a positive 6, that's what we're going to use to write our final answer. So once again, it's a negative 2, so we say x minus 2. And then it's a negative 3, so we say x minus 3. Okay? Once again, if we graph this white one on Desmos, and if we graph this green one on Desmos, they would give us the exact same graph. The top one is just in standard form, and the bottom one is in factored form. Okay. And there's one more situation that I want to show you. It's if we have something that's x squared minus 25. Okay, so this does meet the criteria, but it kind of looks like it doesn't. So remember, the first piece of the criteria, is it quadratic? Meaning, does it have x squared as the largest power of x? And we say yes. And then is the a out in front 1, or is there no number out in front? It meets both of those criteria. Now, if we want to, we can rewrite this. I don't know what's going on. It's not allowing me to draw anymore. Alright, let's see. Maybe it switched layers on me or something. There we go. Okay, so we can rewrite this in an equivalent form that will make it look how we want it to look. Okay? So all I did was add 0 x's. If I add 0 x's to something, it doesn't change the value, and so we can do that. Now we can just go through the same process. 1 and 25, and then 5 and 5. It's going to be the only thing that gets us 25. Okay, if I do negative 5 plus positive 5, that'll give me 0, and so that's the one that I want. And so I can just say x minus 5 and x plus 5. Okay, once again, this is standard form, or this is standard form, and this bottom one is factored form. If you need additional help, please come to Math Lab. Until then, calculator.